Hello, everybody. My name is Tony Rosano. This is episode 102 of the Affiliate Party Podcast. We are coming to you live today. Today is Sunday, everybody. Sunday. What are you going to do today? All right. I know what I'm going to do today. A whole lot of nothing. Work, baby, work. That's about it. I'm going to work, and then I'm also going to say a little prayer that the Falcons lose the rest of the game so we can draft a quarterback and we can keep it moving, okay? But anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But today we are going to talk about adapt or die. Okay, everybody? Now, I told you this week I watched a couple movies, wrote down some notes. One movie I watched was Moneyball. Moneyball was a good movie. I was a baseball fan. I liked baseball. And in the movie, if you've never seen Moneyball, check it out. It's about old technology versus new technology. It's about adapting, not adapting. It's a lot of different layers of the movie that you can look at. But the basis of the movie is the Oakland Athletics, or the Oakland A's, as we call them. Like 2001, 2002, the Oakland A's, they was good. They was a small market team. They had a lot of good young players. But of course, like any sport, baseball, your first 4 or 5 years in the league, you do real good. You play hard. You become an all-star. And then if you're in a small market team, you know most of the time you get scooped up by, a team like the LA Dodgers, or most people, if they do real good and they become an all-star and they're like a real superstar on the small market team, most other players will find themselves going to the New York Yankees. So basically the Oakland Athletics became a farm system for the teams with high payrolls like the Yankees, because the Oakland A's, they lost Jason Giambi. He signed the Yankees for like 7 years, $140 million, something like that, something astronomical. And basically the Yankees had a payroll of like $100 million. The A's had a payroll of $30 million. That's a big difference in baseball. That is, the Yankees have premium top talent, and they won a lot in the late 90s and the early 2000s. I think they won like 3 or 4 championships during that time frame. Then they won like 3 in a row, and they just kept getting people after people after people. I mean, they signed any and everybody from Jason Giambi to like Randy Johnson to just a lot of different people like that. A lot of superstars they was able to sign. So the Oakland A's, in the movie, Brad Pitt, he played Billy Bean. Billy Bean was in Cleveland trying to get somebody, and then he talked to this guy. Well, this guy whispered to the other guy, and he was like, no, keep him. And so, of course, Billy Bean, he went and asked the guy, he was like, hey, why do they listen to you? Who are you? And why are they listening to you? And then he said he does sabermetrics. I think it's sabermetrics. He does, sabermetrics. It's a thing that came out by a guy named Bill James. And Bill James said people shouldn't look at, because in baseball, normally you say, oh, this guy's a 5-tool player or whatever. That means like he can walk, he runs fast, he throws well, he can hit, things like that. But what Bill James and the other guy was saying was, you should look at how much they get on base, how many walks they take, how many, it was a different way of looking at things. And a lot of people, like Billy Bean, he got this guy, he hired this guy, whatever, and the old people on his team, the scouts, they were like, Billy, we have to replace Jason Giambi. And Billy Bean said, no, we don't replace Jason Giambi. We can replace his runs, his hits. We can replace Jason Giambi with 3 people. And these old timers, these scouts, they couldn't see, like, why do we need 3 people when all we need is 1? We just need to get 1 great player to replace. And he's like, no, we can't replace him at that salary. We can replace him with 3 people, and as long as they get on base, that's cool. And so it was a new way to look at things. And basically, the old scouts, especially like the main guy in the movie, he was like, "Fuck you, Billy." Basically, that's in the middle of the movie. He's like, "Fuck you, Billy," and then he walked by the manager and he said, "Good luck, Art." And then the guy, he got fired or whatever because he didn't want to adapt. And a lot of times, you know, in this new, the times are changing all the time. You know, you'll buy a computer in 2019 and it's old in 2020. So, I'm not saying you have to buy a new computer every year, but there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different movements, and sometimes, now you don't have to change on everything, but you definitely have to be open, and you definitely have to adapt to different situations and different things, especially if we are going to be in the business and we want our business to be successful. Adaption, throwing out stuff that's not working, throwing out the old ways, implementing new ideas is something that you have to do. Don't stay stuck on one idea, you know. If you know, it's just like when people was getting on TikTok, and then, you know, if you're somebody and you like, if you have a business and your business is tailored towards young people, and then you're like, "Nah, I don't need to be on TikTok." You might want to adapt. You might want to adjust. And you might want to get on TikTok, especially if your audience is like young. You know, if you're trying to get like 15-year-olds or 16-year-olds, you know, why not adapt? Why not try it out? Why not check it out? You know, it can't hurt. It can only help you. You know what I mean? Like, be open to different things. Be open-minded to different situations. You know, we have to adapt. If you don't adapt, if you're not growing, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you want to figure things out, and you want to try to, you know, look at it from an open mind. It's sort of like being there's a lot of different examples, not just the Moneyball, but it's like in football. It's like in football. If you ever watch football, you have certain coaches. They want to keep doing things the same way they've been doing them, and it's like, that doesn't work. Coach, can we try something new? Like, if it's 4th and 1, what do most coaches do? Back in the day, of course, they would, 4th and 1, they would get the ball, hand the ball off to the running back would run up the middle, and boom, that's it. They'd be like, "Oh, did he get it?" And a lot of times, like now, if you try that, I'm watching the game and I'm like, 4th and 1, they hand the ball off to the running back runs, everybody and their mom knows in the building, they're going to run the ball right up the middle, and boom. And a lot of times they tackle them, and then as a fan, you're like, "Oh, why? What are we doing?" You know, and it's like, come on, you got to adapt, you know. Now, some things you have to know, you know, you just have to have a feel for these kind of things. It's, you know, it's 4th and 1 in the football. Should you drop back, do a naked bootleg with your quarterback, and then throw on the other side of the field? No. You know, like, that might not work, but a little misdirection, a pitch, something like that, something different, you know. You never know about these things, so you have to try. You have to try things out. You have to try, you have to adapt, you know. Don't want to do the same thing over and over, you know. It's like now, you know how, now let's say it's like YouTube. You say you start a YouTube channel. You know it's not going to work? I'm going to tell you this. You staring at the camera and talking, that might not work. You might want to come with a little different, you know, like a little different, you know, like a little different approach. Like, eventually, once you establish an audience, yeah, that can work. But in the beginning, you just stand at the camera going, "Hey, it's me. What's going on, YouTube?" That's probably not gonna work. You want to adapt. You want to come up with some creative videos, you know, some little creativity, a little pizzazz, because you want people's attention. You want people to watch. But just the days of you shooting a video and going, "Hey, it's me. What's up, YouTube?" Those days might be behind us. So you definitely want to come out in the beginning and adapt and say, "Hey, it's me," and you know, do a couple of different clips and everything like that, and adapt, figure things out, and just grow from there. You know, adapt or die basically is the theme of this podcast, because you definitely don't want to, you know, that's like, it's sort of like, it's like truck driving now. You know, they haven't adapted to the life. They haven't really adapted to the ways of the world. They haven't figured out that young people don't want to be on the road all the time. They haven't figured that out yet, and they always claim that they have a driver shortage because they can't get people to spend the night in these trucks, because people don't want to do that anymore. You know, this used to be, remember when I first started driving, I was 24, 25, or however old I was in that range, and I was like, oh, this is exciting. I could travel the country and everything like that. But with the way the world is now, you can, you know, plane tickets are cheaper, and they have all this technology. You can Zoom, you can FaceTime, you can talk to anybody anywhere else, from anywhere in the world. So it's like, I don't have to drive, I don't need to drive 700 miles to see my cousin. I can FaceTime my cousins. You can FaceTime your cousins. You don't have to go months at a time without seeing somebody's face. You don't have to go months at a time without, you know, seeing how somebody's doing. You can just go, hey, kinfolk, FaceTime me, and you'll see them all the time. So it's not like that anymore. And a lot of people don't want to travel. A lot of people don't want to sleep in the back of a truck. And so these trucking companies have not adapted to these situations. You know, they're like, oh, we'll get you home in 2 weeks. 2 weeks sounds like forever to some of these people. You know what I mean? Like, so they don't want to do that. And these trucking companies have not adapted. They have not paid anymore, and now they'll try to hang on to you for as long as possible. They're like, please, please, please don't go. Please, baby, don't go. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I gotta go, pal. You know what I mean? So if you're not adapting, if you're not growing, then what are you doing with yourself? So that's why I say, you know, you have to adapt to the times. You want to get, you know, it's like, if I would have started a business in 2009, and they say, hey, get on YouTube, pal, and I'll say, nah, damn YouTube. And it's like, what? You don't want to be on YouTube? You don't want to, you know what I mean? Like if they have another video, if they come out with another video, they have more video streams than YouTube, but, you know, YouTube is the one that I know the most about. But if they have a different video stream, they're like, hey, there's not a lot of people in this video stream. You should jump on. And I go, nah, that's all right. And then people are passing me by, then that's my fault. You know what I mean? Like, you wanna, you know, you don't have to be an early adapter for everything, but you wanna have an open mind. You wanna keep your ear out and figure out which direction, you know, the world is headed into. And sometimes if you can see that before anybody else, then that's when the boatload will come, you know. That's when it's like, you know, holy shit. If, you know, excuse my language on a Sunday, but if you can, because some people they just know, like, the wave of the world. They see it and they like, let me get there before everybody else. You know, sometimes you might be a little too early, but some people, you time that thing out and you're like, boom, here I am, you know. And then it's you just have to adapt. You know, you don't want to be You don't want to be an old football coach, always still doing 3 yards in the cloud of dirt. You know, you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that person. You want to adapt. You want to adapt to things in life. You want to, move forward. You want to figure things out. You want to be, open-minded. You don't want to have a closed mind. You don't want to be stuck in the mud. Some things work. Some traditions still work, like calling people on the phone to make a sale. That still works, even though a lot of people will try to tell you no. That still works. It probably works more now because people don't call anymore. So that's something that you can do. It's just like when people tell you, "Oh, don't email." Email still works. Or when people tell you, like, if you send people stuff in the mail, that will make them happy. People get so less mail now that it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like some things you still can do, but some things you want to adapt. Some things you want to. It's just like now, everybody and their brother has a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, here we are. We're on a podcast. I got a podcast. You got a podcast. We all got podcasts. Not a big deal. It's just about maintaining, sustaining, and then it's just like we have 100 episodes, so we have 100. We have recorded material. If somebody else comes along and says, "Hey, we have this site and we need people," then I go, "Ooh, I got 100 something episodes. I can put my stuff on this site too." Maybe I'll be an early adapter, and then it'll hit. It might hit double, triple the audience or whatever. I mean, you never know. This is why we produce the content, because you never know what the next platform is going to be. You never know and you have this stuff already prepared and you're ready to go, then you can take it anywhere. But the main thing is don't be stuck in the mud. Don't always be ready to change. Change is good. Change is, we can always go in a little direction. Doesn't have to be a 180. Doesn't have to be 90 degrees. 2 degrees, 1 degree, 3 degrees. Change. It can be a small change, a minor change, a tweak. You never know how a tweak can go. You never know how 1 degree. Because if you change direction 1 degree every day, then you'll see more. You can see more results. Trust me. But anyway, that's it, people. Always be adapting. Always be looking out. Stay ahead of the curve. Don't be left behind. I mean, some things you do that work, stick with them. Some things don't work. You want to adapt. You want to change. You want to make sure that you are on top of things. This is a business we're running. If you don't change your business, you end up like Sears, J.C. Penney's, all kind of examples I can use. Blockbuster. These companies, they didn't change with the times. Blockbuster could have bought Netflix. You imagine a Blockbuster would have bought Netflix, they still be up. They still be running. So just remember that. That's it for this episode. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I appreciate you. Today's Sunday, so you know what I'm going to tell you? Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the best podcast in the universe. This is the best podcast in the galaxy. This is the best podcast in the last, however many long, Between here and the Milky Way, you know what the best podcast is? This podcast, okay? And I appreciate you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be back tomorrow. Of course, it's Monday. We'll be back tomorrow with another hard-hitting episode. My name is Tony Rizzano. Episode 102. I believe it's in the books. But anyway, we will talk to you tomorrow, people. All right? And as always, everybody, peace.